and welcome. This video is the first in a series called Design a CNC or something to that nature. Uh, Let me go ahead and set the scene for you. It is, about 10:52 on a Monday night. I am sitting in my easy chair with my laptop, and I got a nice cold beverage by my side. I got my MacBook Pro nice and charged up. I got my wireless mouse good to go, and staring back at me is this handsome devil right here. Yes, that is indeed me. It was literally the very first image that I found on my laptop. But just in case you're wondering how good looking a person could possibly be, there's your answer to go with such a charming voice. So, anyways, let me describe what I'm kind of hoping to accomplish in this video, or this series of videos, rather. This is not going to be necessarily a comprehensive course on designing and building a CNC, and it's not going to be a comprehensive course on SolidWorks, although we're going to cover a lot of those topics. This is basically a rundown of my process. It's how I think, how I like to do things. It's a how I find information, things like that. Do not expect this to be super well polished. There will be next to no production value. You're going to hear me say and stumble over myself quite a bit. You're going to hear me cough like that because I am coming out of a cold. And so, anyways, have low expectations. But I thought I would just keep you along for the ride and kind of let you know kind of the way I like to do things. What you're going to basically be seeing is what I'm seeing. And right now, I am looking at my desktop. And if I swipe over, uh, you can see that I'm also running Windows 10, and I think it went to sleep. Oh, okay, there we go. Which I have SolidWorks open and running. So, anyways, don't get too weirded out by the different, Mac and Windows. I can switch back and forth between. For all my web browsing type stuff, you'll see the Mac screen, and then SolidWorks will pretty much just be in Windows. I'm running VMware Fusion, just in case you're wondering, but don't get too hung up on that. If you are running a Windows PC and you have a copy of SolidWorks, then you should be good to go. If you do not have SolidWorks, I'm not surprised. It's very expensive. Uh, it's they're quite proud of it, but it's also quite good as far as software goes. Now, as I said before, this is not necessarily going to be a SolidWorks class or anything like that, but more or less to show you my design process and how I get to there and my reasoning behind certain design aspects. And so keep that in mind. Hopefully you will learn a little bit about SolidWorks in this, but if you're running another software and you're competent in it, I would say you'd be just fine. For example, what is it? Autodesk Fusion 360. Wonderful piece of software. It's free if you're using it for non-commercial type applications or if you're a hobbyist. And and it's quite powerful. I don't know it as well as SolidWorks. I grew up with SolidWorks, so to speak. That's what they taught at school. That's what we used at work. So SolidWorks is what I'm going to be used. That's because I'm just more comfortable with it. However, if you have a different flavor of a parametric modeling system, I think you'll be just fine. So let's talk CNCs for a bit here. The goal of this video, what spawned this video is we're actually building a CNC for our club. We're actually, well, at least building plans for it. And the whole idea is that we'll be able to use CNC members. See, I told you I was going to be bad with words. You were warned. You were warned. So what we have a Treasure Valley CNC user group. It's basically a club here in Boise, Idaho, and we have a lot of members with CNC machines. We have a lot of members who would like a CNC machine. And now we understand that everybody's needs are different, and I don't think anybody has the same two machines in our club. Everybody has something that's a little bit different. We have a lot of them that are, off the shelf, so to speak. We have quite a few that were built from scratch. We have some that are built from a kit, and so basically, there's a very big variety of stuff out there, and the needs for everybody is quite different. We um, and so, anyways, this is made for a specific need. This is made for a home user who needs a limited work area and somebody who wants to get into it for probably less than a couple grand. I don't know exactly what the total price of it is right now. We'll run that out a little bit later, but uh, this is for working within a budget from probably less than $2,000, and that's probably a high estimate. You could probably do a little bit better. Uh, this is loosely based off of a design that I have done before. Uh, and so, anyways, however, I don't have any blueprints or anything in front of me. I'm going to be building this. I'm going to be building this from scratch, as you'll see. And so, anyways, as soon as I make something, you'll get to see that I'm going to go back and I'm going to be changing it. I'm going to be tweaking things and messing with this and cussing at it and all that sort of stuff. So don't expect uh, don't expect a straight shot right to the end because I have no notes or anything right here. I'm just going from my brain basically. So as I said, uh, don't expect much for production value. I'm going to try to move as quickly as I can just to keep it interesting. I'm going to try to record everything, but it might not be. But I'll try not to leave you behind. If you are trying to make your own in SolidWorks, you're probably going to have to pause and play a lot. I am not gonna, because I'm gonna move as quickly as I can. A, to keep it interesting, and B, I want to go to bed eventually. So, excuse me. Anyways, there is my intro. I'm gonna go ahead and close the video, and I guess we are already on our way to part two. And in part two, I am going to talk a little bit about sources and the things we have to work with. I will see you then.